Then in Endeavour Hills, and Melbourne City are going to be attacking the right of your screens as they try to, well, just welcome themselves into this new venue. Melbourne Victory captain Angie Beard joins me in commentary. And Angie, it's important for both teams, isn't it? Not just for Perth to get their name out of the history books for all the wrong reasons, but Melbourne City want to end the season on a high and on a winning streak.
Of course, you never want to end the season on a lull. You want to get some goals in. You want to, farewell the season in a high note.
We see City playing the ball out from the back, and Checker being grabbed and grappled by Lowry and ended up having to sell the contact to the referee, Kate Jakovitz, who goes and has a word to Hannah Lowry, saying, you know what you did, that was a foul. No subs for either team. And the only player to receive a booking in that first half was Perth's Sarah Morgan, so she'll have to be careful, and it seems as though they've sent her up front at the start of the second half here. So it'll be interesting to see if Alex Aparkas is approaching this second 45 with a bit of a change in formation. Of course, we heard from Archie Thompson at half-time about how Perth are trying to get Lexi Moreno to lead the line for them. Melbourne City trying to venture forward through Riley Dobson here, but intercepted almost immediately by Anton. Got a bit of multi-ball going, so going to clear one of those off. I haven't mentioned the Melbourne City bench tonight. Julia Sardo, a defender. Harriet Withers, a forward. Sarah Kane, a midfielder. And Leah Muldery, a defender. Be interesting to see if and when we see those players tonight. Of course, their second goalkeeper is the 17-year-old Sophia Varley. Davidson. Chidiak. Steinmetz took the ball off Davidson's feet, but then gave it straight to Blanich. Eckhoff trying to distribute. Della Harp with the header away. Now Morgan. Back to Wallhead. That's a shallow back pass. It's dangerous, and Orfeld was able to come out and make it work. We've been singing her praises so much through the first half. Angie, it would have been a travesty if Isabella Wallhead had given away the opening goal there.
Yeah, just a bit clumsy there, a bit too casual with that back pass, but Lily Orford is quite comfortable playing with pressure on her and clearing balls.
Now Della Harp's turn to press against Tori Chimeth. The wonder, is this going to be her last game in City colours? Will any of the New South Wales teams in her home state take an interest in her now off the back of this campaign? Or will Melbourne City be determined to keep her? Now probing it through the right side. Wallhead backtracking. Got a bit of breaking news here in the commentary box. The Matildas will play against World Cup runners-up the Netherlands on Wednesday, the 14th of April in Nijmegen in the Netherlands. So there you go. Germany on April the 11th and the Netherlands on the 14th. And of course, last time the Matildas played the Netherlands, they lost 3-0, so hopefully they'll be trying to improve that result. Got to be honest, Angie, I was commentating that game and I thought the Netherlands were a pretty good show for the World Cup off the back of that. If only I'd known they were going to go all the way to the final.
Yeah, they're a fantastic team, but it's great to see a lot of the Matildas in that European setup, probably playing against players that they may see in those friendlies.
So that international double is going to mean that they might need to call up a few of the players that were being speculated about, some of the European-based Aussies who've never been part of the Matildas setup before. Whether that's Jacinta Gallibattarachi at Celtic, or Indy Riley, who's playing in Denmark at Fortuna Horing, or even the big go, Beatty Goad, who's playing in the Frauen Bundesliga with Meppen. That would be fantastic if she got a call-up. Here goes Caitlin Douglas. Through the right side, does she go it alone? Stings the palms of Barbieri, and for the first time tonight, the Melbourne City goalkeeper is called into significant action.
Just a great forward run there by Caitlin Douglas. She's an incredibly pacey player, and just to get that shot away, maybe it releases a bit of tension, she gets that confidence, and she can find herself in more attacking positions and get herself on the ball more in scoring opportunities.
Morgan, a bit of a clash of boots, and Davidson tripping over her own teammate, Eckhoff. Perth are going to escape out the right. Rigby. Perth have come out with a bit of intent. Not going to turn this one into a shot on target, but it's good signs, Angie. They don't want to draw their way out of, well, historically significantly bad records. They don't want to finish the season on 2 points or 3 points. They want to win tonight. They want to, you know, leap up and just at least take their name out of the conversation of some of the worst W League campaigns in history.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see them really take some risks and try and do something special, try and put a bit of magic into this last game of their season.
A goal would certainly be a good start, as I mentioned in the first half. Every head-to-head between these two teams, the first team to score has gone on to win. They have never played a draw. Perth won just the once in Melbourne against Melbourne City. It was the incredible game at Amy Park where Lauren Barnes got sent off. Sam Kerr scored a double. Perth emerged 3-2 winners. But of course, Melbourne City would go to Perth and get them back in the grand final of that same season back in 2017. So we see the ball continue to be passed around the defence. Falling over is Chidiac. Oh, thought she cramped there for a moment. No, was just trying to take evasive action with a wince and a grimace. And now Perth take back over. Really good tempo at the start of this second half. Lowry. Wallhead. Steinmetz. And it's beaten Vlanich. Douglas is in behind here. On a very acute angle, though. He's going to have to try to cross the ball and no teammates available. Deflection. Nearly gifting the ball back to Douglas, who's going to turn it to Steinmetz. He's trying to pick a pass. Moreno, that's the signature good close control. It's got to have a pass to go with it and finds Rigby. I feel like Perth are really knocking on the door here, but that lets the air out of the balloon.
Yeah, lovely little 1-2 play there. One touch, two touch by Perth Glory up front. Tash Rigby just trying to just test that back three there, sorry, by Melbourne City and put Bubs under a bit of pressure. Unfortunate not to have many runners, if any, in the box there.
Chidiac. Now Checker. To Vlanich, would love to turn attacker once again. Checker. Oh, W League goals are a rarity for her. And that one rolls into the arms of Alfeld.
TJ finding herself in a nice position out wide there and having one of your centre-backs drive forward to get themselves in the box for a shot. I think Melbourne City need to get their strikers a bit more involved in the game.
Checker just the 2 goals in 100 W League appearances. One of them came earlier this season. The other one was when she was a Melbourne Victory player, so a third would have been a real collector's item. It's only early days, but it's starting to feel like this game might be decided by the odd goal if one of these two teams can find the back of the net. You just hope that if one does score, it'll throw the game open and both will then start to just exchange attacks one after another rather than sit back satisfied. Here goes Vlanich. Kira. Haven't seen enough of her in this game. Johnson. Checker. He's got a taste for attacking after that last surge forward, but decides against it here. Chinamar, oh, almost clipped it into an attacking channel for Chumeth, who's going to run down McKenna here and keep the attack going. And it heads for a throw. City ball, though. You can see the City subs all having to get out of the way here so play can restart. Chidiac. Eckhoff. City have got so many numbers committed forward here, but Vlanich Oh, slid in and did control the ball in the end. Now Kira. Dobson linking back up. Lowry was an obstacle that City could not pass. And now Alfeld with a clearance. Blamich is up for the header. And as Rigby hits the touchline, Archie Thompson.
Thanks, Ter. Yeah, I just, with the runs that Douglas has made in the back there, it's opened up a lot of space. But this is what I was talking about, having that kind of out-and-out striker number 9 that knows to be in that penalty box, because she made that run, but no one was really making that run into the box to help. I've seen that Rado Vidicic had a word.
We see McKenna in, and the flag was up. Sorry, Archie, I thought the flag was always going up there. It was just a late flag. Continue on.
Yeah, and I just heard Rado Vidicic scream out to Dobson not to leave that middle part of the pitch, especially in that when they go forward. And that's because as a sort of number 9 or a striker, and she's not used to that, she tends to drift out wide into those wider positions, what she's used to. So, and that if they break, there's no one in the box to kind of challenge that ball that might come in. And I think that's the difference when you've got that sort of out-and-out striker.
Now, points well made, Archie, and I think it's going to be top of clubs' recruiting lists. Hopefully, from within the ranks of the NPL, they can go and have a look this winter. And then if all else fails, foreigners, assuming we get the borders reopened for W League by the time next season rolls around. I don't think it's something you can count on, though. I think if you can latch on to a good young Australian striker in the NPL somewhere around the country, you've got to hone in and make them your own. Angie, certainly a case that you can't take anything for granted with next W League season, given that we just don't know if recruiting is going to be possible from overseas or not.
With the state of the world, it's still so unpredictable and so strange to even think about next season. Hopefully everything returns semi back to normal and we can try and get that injection of international talent into the W League again.
And so battle for possession continues here between Rigby and Echo. Checker sees this one out. And now the appeals for a throw-in go City's way. There's the details of the upcoming Matildas matches as they return to international football. Of course, hosts of the 2023 World Cup. It probably means you're going to be able to get some higher profile friendlies through the door. Germany and then the Netherlands. A 2:30 a.m. job for the Netherlands. That could be me. I'm available. Here's Steinmetz. And trying to play a through ball and swept onto by Barbieri. It's exciting. I know it's disappointing for the W League players, Angie, that aren't eligible for selection, but it's exciting to have the national team back. We've had the announcement of the World Cup, but COVID has put international football on hold so significantly in Australia. Socceroos having to opt out of the Copa America, so it's just nice to have something to look forward to again.
Definitely. It feels like such a long time since we've had some action with the national team.
Dobson is going to be closed down initially by Anton. And trying to find Chidiac, can't do so as it runs down to Orfeld. Delaha. Wallhead had the pressure of Kira. Driving pass attempted through the right, and Checker just, well, not quite a crowd killer, did the courtesy of putting it above the heads of all the fans sitting out on the hill. Neither team has turned to the bench yet, Angie, so as we sort of meander towards the midpoint of the second half, who do you think's going to act first? Around the hour mark is when teams tend to think about subs.
If we look at the benches, Perth Glory seem to have a few more attackers than Melbourne City. Maybe they'll bring on Marianne Tabane, maybe Uric. It could be a good replacement for Lexi Moreno up top.
Checker is trying to thread through Dobson, and the pass is paid all the way back to Westfield. There are the Melbourne City subs. Julia Sardo, Sarah Kane at the front of the queue. Morgan. McKenna. Davidson. Chidiac. And is throwing it to Vlanich, who's just known when to get forward tonight. Vlanich! And it just kept rising. Best chance for either team in this second half. And TJ Vlanich, I mentioned in the first half, her only W League goal was against Perth. That was nearly the second.
Yeah, it's a great strike there. Good connection. The power's on it. Just floats above the goal. But again, excellent work by Alex Chidiac in the centre of the midfield there to get on the ball, get free and forward. She's definitely not afraid to be on the ball with a great amount of pressure on her, and she seems to have that close control where she just gets away from her defenders and can find her players.
Vlanich made her debut as a 26-year-old, so turned 30 before this season started. Will be turning 31 next season, so definitely trying to, I think, put down a marker for her future in this competition as it gets inundated with so many young players. City now have Perth Glory pinned back quite deep here. You can see the defensive line only just above the top of the penalty area as Kira and Tumeth try to unlock the defence. Needs the cut back. It's behind Dobson. Vlanich is there, arriving late, no shot. Eckhoff. And the referee, Kate Jankovic, says last touch off a Perth Glory player. It's going to be a corner kick. And this is certainly as close as Perth have got to red alert in this game, Angie.
Yeah, quick little 1-2 here with Kira and Tumeth. Great driving run into the box. Tries to find her own players. Riley just a couple seconds behind. And just great last-ditch effort here by Moreno to stop that shot on goal.
So Chinatsu Kira with a pack of players to swing it into. And the header is off the pack. Back heel and turned in. And it is a farewell goal for Riley Dobson. The dream farewell. Absolute delight for Riley Dobson. Had the initial go at the header at the corner and then was first to respond with the ball on the ground.
Yeah, just a bit of a deflection here. Very cheeky by Tori Tumeth here. And doesn't that just make your heart smile seeing Riley Dobson score in her last game in the W League? You can see the excitement from the rest of the girls and you could hear it in the crowd as she scored.
Well, sometimes the script is just written for you. Appearance number 109, goal number 14. And the player from Warchope who started at Newcastle and is now finishing her career with Melbourne City has broken the deadlock here. Perth sub off Caitlin Douglas and Patricia Charalambis comes on. And as I mentioned, the first team to score has won every head-to-head between these teams. So Perth are going to have to reverse a significant historical trend if they want to get anything out of tonight's game. Archie Thompson, how was that goal received down on the benches?
Well, I was just about to say the noise that came from the Melbourne City bench was just so great to hear. I mean, for myself, I was just so excited too. I think I was more excited than the girls were, but such an amazing goal and what it meant too, because I know that just speaking with Vidicic before this game, that she actually houses with a couple of the younger players, and they consider her that mother figure, which she has really embraced and enjoyed her time being at Melbourne City. So just a fitting, I guess, end to I know there's still a lot to be played, but and hopefully she gets another one, but such a great story.
It's a great point you make, Archie. In Riley Dobson's seasons in Melbourne, living in that share house with all the other interstate or some of the overseas players, you could put together a pretty handy team of Riley Dobson's housemates that have played for Melbourne City over the journey. So their pressure has paid off, Angie. I guess we could all see it coming. Melbourne City have been all over Perth now for a solid 7 or 8 minutes.
Yeah, they've come out firing this second half. Just more intent going forward, more drive, more players wanting to take that touch forward and risk, you know, 1 or 2 touches to dribble forward and try and penetrate this Perth back four.
Della Harp to Moreno. Real test of character for Perth here. Long ball and Barbieri had it covered. Let's look at this from Perth's point of view as we see. Oh, let's have another look at the goal, actually. Dobson was up for the header, and as you say, very clever from Tori Timoth, wasn't it? That's going to go down as one of the better assists this season.
Yeah, as a defender, I don't think she's going to let anyone forget that anytime soon.
Timoth is on the ball right here, playing it back to Chinamar. But yeah, approaching this from a Perth point of view, they've made the sub, Cheryl Ambus on for Douglas. Do they take a few more risks? Do they maybe think about changing formation in order to commit maybe a few more numbers forward?
I mean, potentially. Caitlin Douglas was one of their main strikers and main forces going forward, but she's come onto the bench. I know she's a very high-intensity player, very high impact with a lot of high-intensity runs she makes forward. So maybe that was a bit of a tactical move going forward for the next game as well.
Of course, they do play Sunday. Here's Dobson to Chidiac, and clipped away at the very last by McKenna. Just sunk the slipper and able to get the ball off the feet of the oncoming attacker.
Yeah, Riley Dobson involved again. Alex Chidiac just trying to sneak past her defenders. Great last-ditch clearance there by Tian McKenna. I also apologise, I called her by her sister's name previously in the first half. As a little sister, I'm sure she hates that, but yeah, apologies again.
So now the corner, Perth on all-out defensive duty. They conceded at the last corner they had. So will Melbourne City simply try to do it again? Kira, in swinger, right into the pack. This time Allfield gets the first fist on the ball. The clearance is shallow. Eckhoff trying to control the ball. Chinamar stayed forward. Shouts for offside. Shouts for both a corner and a goal kick. And the end result is another corner. You hear Kate Jakovitz there just laying down the law to the Perth players protesting that it was offside. So repeat corners here. Perth under the pump. If they fall 2-0 down, the stats do not make good reading. Never mind what we're seeing with our own 2 eyes in front of us tonight. Chidiac in at the near post. Oh, and it's hit the woodwork, and then Allfield collapses onto the ball. You heard that just little rattle there of woodwork, but it stayed out.
Better delivery here by Chidiac, and Emma Checker just trying to get that little nod on to flick it into goal. Lily Alfred standing strong and collecting that calmly.
Can Perth find a circuit breaker here? It's one-way traffic at the moment. Melbourne City trying to finish their season as a winner. Right now, the scoreline wouldn't be enough to get them out of 7. They would have had to have won by 5 goals tonight to leapfrog Western Sydney Wanderers and end the campaign in 6th. Extraordinary to think Melbourne City still has a goal difference of -12 at the moment. Wanderers ending the season at -8. Of course, they already played their final game against Adelaide on Sunday. Here's Kira. Chidiac has options, and Wallhead is able to intercept the 2 City oncoming rushes. And then, instead of putting the ball out, goes and chases it down. Well done. Looks like Katarina Jukic is getting ready over on the Perth bench. That's Tian McKenna.
9 off, 2 on. Yep. 12 off, 12 off. Yep, 17.
Sounds as though there might be a couple of changes on the way going on right underneath our camera and commentary position with the 4th official. But we'll wait for those at the next break. Right now, Perth are trying to launch from the centre of defence. Rigby. Misdirected pass. Checker. Rigby again. Now the ball over the top. Checker has it covered though. Cheryl Ambus yet to really impact the match in a meaningful way. So Perth are going to request even more subs to come on. There's Sarah Carroll. veteran Perth Glory defender. Coming on for what will be W League appearance number 80.
You're on, Cap.
Then Katerina Jukic as well. She's coming on for Malia Steinmetz. There goes Sarah Carroll into the game. Lexi Moreno coming off as well. And there is the 100 club gamer, Mariana Tabane. Tonight will be appearance number 127 in the W League. 100 of them with the Glory, and of course all the rest were with Melbourne City, where she was an exceptional player, winning a couple of championships and scoring 10 goals in her 26 appearances as part of Joe Montemuro's super team. Morgan, one of the other players, making way. It's a great achievement, 100 games for the one club, just the second player to do it behind Shannon May. Mariana Tabane's a player you would have played against quite a lot over the years, I'm sure, Angie.
Yeah, I remember a lot of Melbourne derbies there with Melbourne Victory and Melbourne City. She was fantastic, whether she's in the midfield or even up top as well.
Probably right up at the top of the list of players who have been exceptional in the W League, but are just unlucky never to have played for the Matildas. She got into a training camp, but never got that first cap, and now at the age of 28, you suspect that that chance is gone for her. Of course, she's not lost to international football potentially. She does have Croatian heritage, so a bit like Laura Sporanovic, we might see her try her hand in Europe one day. I think COVID obviously is going to be a difficulty in that. And we're going to have a card, are we? Straight off the bench? No, I think that's just the spray that's coming out from Kate Jakovitz here to mark a free kick. That would have been a fairly inauspicious start from Sarah Carroll if she'd got booked straight off the bench there for that foul.
She's a very tall player, very physical player, but just a loose touch there and trying her hardest to recover there, just out of desperation, gives away a free kick and earns herself a yellow card.
Looks as though City have decided this is shooting range. Perth are not going to take any risks. They've got 4 on the wall. Shinatsu Kira and TJ Vlanich are the concern that Lily Orfeld is very determinedly preparing for here.
Patty, nothing through the middle. Pat, you're pressing. Here, you got it wide. Girls take offside. We win, guys.
What do you reckon, Angie? Direct shot or to the pack of players?
I think maybe TJ might clip this to the back post. But it's not a very tall wall, is it, for Perth Glory?
Here we go. Vlanich is going to shoot at goal and just puts that next to the post. Not really a hugely dangerous threat on the target in the end.
Yeah, I mean, I was suspecting a chip to the back post there, but yeah, TJ seeing that the wall's a bit small, might have suspected that Alfred was expecting the cross and goes for the shot.
Got to give credit to the goalkeeper there for setting up the wall in the defence. As a goalkeeper, sometimes the best way to do your job is to not have to have any work at all, because everyone in front of you is just neatly arranged and positioned and organised. So you get the feeling, Angie, that Lily Alfeld's night is far from over here in terms of the goalkeeping she's going to have to do.
Yeah, well, here City are again putting the pressure on and earning themselves another corner. You saw what happened last corner. Maybe they can replicate the same and get another goal.
They have no real reason to deviate away from the in-swinging corner that hones right in on the target, because it's caused all sorts of headaches and led to the only goal of the game so far. Shinatsu Kira ready to do exactly that. Drops it right on top of the penalty spot and skimmed off the head of Chinamar. That could have been a first goal for the 16-year-old. And eventually the ball squirms its way over the line and out, and it's going to lead to City's first sub of the night. But let's take another look at the corner.
Yeah, just another ball into that enormous pack of players in the middle of the box there. And Perth Glory doing enough to just shield that away for a throw-in.
Well, this is a nice touch. Melbourne City are going to sub off Riley Dobson and give her the opportunity to get a standing ovation from the fans. Here's another look at the goal that she says goodbye to the W League with. Got the initial header at the corner, and then was first to react to Tori Tumet's back heel. What a great career from Riley Dobson, and we wish her and her partner Matt all the best. Matt's going to have the fight of his life all over again, and he's got an amazing person there with him to see him on that journey.
Kids onto 17 at corners against.
It's a great moment
Kids
as we
17.
say goodbye to Riley Dobson, Angela.
Yeah, it's very heartfelt. She's had a fantastic career, still very young, but accomplished so much with Melbourne City and in her entire career. You know, it's great to see the City fans really show up and give her a hand as she exits the field. But yeah, it's just a beautiful moment for her, and she's such a great player and a great person as well, and I congratulate her.
She really is the definition of a fan favourite, to be honest, is just someone who's never shied away from the responsibility of being a W League player either, has often been outspoken on issues of standards within the league and making sure that the women's competition is continuing to advance. And certainly before tonight's game, she was just eager to impress how grateful she is for all the support she's had over the years as well. Still, there is a game to be won out here, and Melbourne City bring on Withers, who has just the 1 goal this season and would love to add to that tally. Wallhead under pressure immediately, and this time it's going to be a goal kick. No need for words, the pictures said it all. Shinamar makes the interception, but then gives it straight to Lowry. And now Lowry is going to launch, but, well, it looked impressive off the boot, and then it steadily lost velocity the further it went.
Yeah, you can see as she takes her touch, she's just looking ahead, looking at players, and in her mind, the best option there was to shoot. Fires away. Good enough distance, but not enough to trouble Barbieri in goals.
Melissa Barbieri has had a little bit more work to do in this second half, and of course Perth making a number of subs. Are going to be trying to aggress as this game goes on. Mariana Tabane, Katarina Jukic, have all gone into the attacking third. Melissa Barbieri still feeling as though there is plenty left in the tank. As a player, I'm sure as a coach as well. Of course, has already had some experience in the NPL and is now an assistant at Melbourne City. Withers not able to make a play on the ball here. Anton just read it better in the air. Cheryl Ambus. Danger here potentially as Withers is just going to prowl around, see if Perth make an errant pass. Long ball down the right, straight to Checker, but then caught in possession by Jukic. Doesn't break kindly for Perth, though. That is a sentiment that's been echoed both by fans and administrators, I suspect. Build the stadium in Dandenong. You can see they're just scribbled in pen underneath it. But yes, Team 11 and Melbourne City now combined, so to speak. It's good to see the groundwork that Team 11 did on their A-League bid is not going to go to waste, and they are determined to get the stadium in Dandenong at some point in the mid to even short-term future. It would be exciting as well for the A-League too, to have a couple of teams plant their flag at geographic extremes of metropolitan Melbourne. Here's Withers. Now Chidiac, great chance for City. Chidiac, 2-0. And it looks like it's going to be all smiles for City in their goodbye game for this season, because Alex Chidiac has doubled the lead and Melbourne City are just about unbeatable from here.
Just in our dedication to Riley Dobson leaving the W League, we forgot to welcome Harriet Withers back from injury, back from an ankle injury, just setting up that second goal. Beautiful turn here by Alex Chidiac and a gorgeous finish into that bottom corner.
Melbourne City have taken a 2-0 lead 30 times now at home. They have had 26 wins, 3 draws, have never been beaten from this position. So you'd think Chidiac has just about put them out of reach here. Perth Glory, this team that's heading for the unwanted record of the lowest number of goals scored in a 12-game season. Back when the W League was only 10 games, Adelaide set the record with 4, so at least they've gone past that, but it looks as though they're going to have the very unwanted mark of the most goal-shy team since the league went to 12. They do not want this to get out of hand. Melbourne City are charging again, and good hands from Alfeld behind that shot from Chinatsu Kira. Archie Thompson, let's go down to you.
Yeah, thanks, Tao. Well, it was actually kind of a strange atmosphere when Riley Dobson went off, because it was almost like that moment everyone was excited for her to score. They knew the excitement levels around the game and what it actually meant. And it kind of just went a little bit flat there. And I think it was just all that excitement and adrenaline. But then when Chidiac just scored, Riley Dobson was the first one to be off the bench and applaud her, knowing that obviously it was a goal for her and almost in her honour. So it was actually a really strange feeling.
Oh, thanks, Archie. And Alex Chidiac's going to be one of those players that, if she's not announcing a move back to Europe ASAP off the back of her final Melbourne City game here tonight, she's going to be one of the ones who will be left particularly frustrated that she won't be taking part in those upcoming Matildas internationals against Germany and the Netherlands.
Yeah, it's a very strange situation to be in. I've spoken to a few of the girls who are in that extended squad, and the frantic nature of trying to get overseas right now is very unpredictable and it's very unheard of, really.
We're going to have another sub here. Sarah Kane is going to come on for Melbourne City, and making way is Chinatsu Kira. So perhaps at 2-0, the attacking force of Melbourne City is going to be continued to have some refreshment here. And Kira, just the one goal in her first W League season. Certainly excellent over a dead ball and one of the more creative players in this team. Didn't get the team success she may have been after, but still, a player of her accomplishments and resume, Angie, you know she was going to bring quality to this competition.
Yeah, with that one goal and a couple of assists there off set pieces, she's shown glimpses of the player that she can be and the player that she is with the national team and in leagues that she's played in previously. It's great to have more Japanese talent in the W League. It's just great to see.
Of course, Yukari King at the Trailblazer has certainly been a great advertisement for this competition for other Japanese players looking to give it a go, and hopefully that continues into the future. Just on the Matildas, I mentioned some of the other players that could potentially get a look in due to only selecting from Europe. Former Western Sydney defender Alex Hyun, former Sydney FC and young Matildas captain Hannah Bacon, who is still playing in Denmark, and of course Dylan Holmes, who left the W League early with Adelaide United and now is over at Häcken in Sweden. It's going to be so intriguing to see Tony G's first squad. Here's Withers. Vlanic. I think a number of Melbourne City players here are just sensing that Perth are on the canvas and they can potentially run up the score here, get a real chance to enjoy football and finish the season on a high. Jukic. To Bain. Playing it through the left for Della Harp. Not for the first time tonight. There's just no one attacking the ball in the penalty area. Anton. Echo. Back to Checker. Sam Johnson. To Bain now, but dispossessed immediately. Davidson right on her case. Eckhoff, an ambitious pass. Rigby's got the sit here against Chidiac. Looks as though Melbourne City are getting more subs ready. We're going to see Julia Sato for the first time in a number of weeks. She was prominent at the start of the season and then fell out of the mix, even off the bench, but looks as though she's going to be back soon. There's Julia Sato in the foreground and Leah Maldiri still in the bib, taking the bib off. couple of Victorian players. Archie was right when he said the game fell into a bit of a lull. It's both teams just trying to work out a bit of motivation and find a spark at present. Della Harp here guarding the ball against Withers. I guess it's good that a player like Withers comes on, Ange, because she's one who's got a point to prove and very much playing for her W League future in these last minutes of the game.
Yeah, definitely. She's one to watch, I think. She didn't have the easiest season with that ankle injury, but it's good to see her off the bench this week. An incredibly pacey player, a striker out and out, and it'd be nice to see her try and get a head on the ball here off this Alex Chidiac corner.
Corners have been such a concern for Perth as this second half has progressed. Chidiac to take. This time Lowry wins the header, but it goes straight out for another corner. So the pressure stays right on. Lowry, of course, scored her first W League goal with a bullet header. Players who are good in the air just become that much more valuable in a competition like this. As we see, honing right in on the target again. Melbourne City have just got a corner and they are sticking to it. Perth Glory are trying to defend with all their might. As the ball goes out, it's relief for Perth because City are going to make a couple of changes here. And so Tori Chimeth comes off. Had to wait until she was 19 to make her W League debut and had to move interstate to do it, but I think she'll be pretty happy with the move from New South Wales. She's ended up playing a full season here. So well done to Tori. And TJ Vlanich comes off as well. How much more gas has TJ got in the tank? Will we see her in the W League in future as well? So Muldeary comes on. 20-year-old defender.
We see another corner here for Melbourne City, and like you touched on before, I really do think that heading the ball is a lost art. A player that I grew up with and played alongside, Laura Alloway, is probably one of the best headers of the ball that I've ever seen, and you know, you don't really see talent like that anymore in the W League too much.
Here comes the corner, and Alfeld again under the pump, but even though Hannah Lowry ended up in the back of the net, crucially, the ball did not. Well, I see that Natasha Pryor, who was signed as an injury replacement for Sydney FC, has been named in their squad for their game against Canberra this weekend, and you think she's had her issues with concussion and has been out of football for a couple of years, but again, Angie, a player who can read the ball well in the air, especially in women's football, if you've got that skill, I think you need to hone it and kind of put your name up in lights. Because if you're a young player coming through, or you're an NPL player who just habitually wins headers, you've almost got one foot in the W League because it is such a rare skill.
Yeah, it just puts more pressure on the team in terms of setting up set pieces, not being able to think about transition, having to put your best player on the best header of the ball. A player that we've seen in our team, especially Kayla Morrison, she's probably one of the scariest people that I've seen come across in a corner. Unfortunately for us, we haven't really seen that this season in terms of getting her on the ball off corners. But yeah, players like that with that aerial ability are fantastic, and it's just that special little bit of magic that you need off set pieces.
I don't know if it's an American thing, but certainly I think one of the best headers in the W League for years and years has been Kendall Fletcher. Of course, still playing as a veteran of the competition, but in particular the years she spent at Melbourne Victory and then Western Sydney Wanderers, you just knew at a set piece, even though she's not tall, she's not particularly great with her leap, she's just an exceptional header of the ball when it gets into her airspace. And if that is a characteristic the American players are trained for, Australian players just don't have it quite the same way. City just dominating possession at the moment as well. Perth looking a little bit ragged here at the end of a tough night. Della Harp hasn't stopped trying though. He's not happy here that a foul wasn't forthcoming. Here's Sardo off the bench. Almost into the path of Withers, but across comes Anton. Orfeld has to be careful. Plays it out to Rigby. It was a loose touch and then went sliding after it and came a cropper. Muldeary trying to go back the other way.
Great ball.
She's stopped by Wallhead. Rigby has stayed down here, hopefully only a cramp. In the meantime, Davidson at the edge of the box. Sarah Kane, will she shoot from distance? A quick 1-2 with Withers. Still Kane! Oh, it goes across the face. And as we tick into stoppage time, that was nearly 3 for City.
Yeah, fantastic ball work there by Withers and Kane to see themselves and get that 1-2 in play. You can see Rigby just going in for that tackle there. On this slippery surface, you take a touch a little bit too big, you can try and recover, but yeah, she's just come off worse off with that little tackle.
Trainer's coming out to her as well here, and now talk us through this attempt from Sarah Kane.
Yeah, good intent here by Sarah Kane, finding that cheeky little ball around the corner from Withers, taking that touch forward towards goal, and yeah, just trying to get that ball on frame. Sarah Kane gets herself in a great position there, but test the keeper, get a corner out of it, get a ricochet off of it. Yeah, just get the ball on frame.
Well, this is not good signs for Perth Glory, given that they have to back up and play Sunday. It'll be their final game of the season. Now already locked into last place, and really they'll be just trying to even get a draw just to avoid going in the history books as only the second team since the W League went to a 12-game season to go through without a win. So into stoppage time we have gone. 2-0 is the damage. Melbourne City have just kept pressing right to the end here. It's a team of players who can sense the chance maybe for another. Perth trying to score very much against the flow. Della Harp. And can't shrug the attention of Chidiac, even at ground level. Chidiac was able to win the ball, but then knocked it straight out. To Bain, cleared away by Johnson. Anton has to be careful here because Withers is going to make a presence. And the keeper's done well there to judge that left-footed clearance of the ball. Davidson. Muldeary. Eckhoff can't take possession. Lowry trying to clip it into the path of Jukic, but surrounded by blue shirts, and Johnson won the header away. Now Chidiac can turn and go. Sarah Kane made a run, and then Withers can't quite get in behind Wallhead, but it will be yet another corner. They've had so many in this second half, Angie.
Yeah, they're really putting the pressure on here. Wallhead's done just a great job there on Withers, who's a very pacey player, as we said before. Despite the scoreline, I think both Perth Glory centre-backs have done a decent enough job tonight, but yeah, unfortunate with the 2 goals from Melbourne City.
So, can they get one more for the road here, City? They're going to get their first win at their new home ground, which they certainly will be happy about. Surely they're not keeping it in the corner. You're 2-0 up. Come on, for the fans, attack. See if they keep it in the corner again. Well, they're not going to because it's offside. So they've got that one wrong. Chinamar appeared to push Jukic there, but no foul given. Withers. Della Harp to McKenna. How different a game it could have been if her shot in the first half had found the back of the net. It would have been a very different story if Perth Glory had taken the lead. Now, a hopeful long ball that's not going to trouble anyone in the defence. Certainly not Melissa Barbieri. And how quickly the good form has returned for her. Wins, clean sheets. It's like she hasn't missed a beat. May have started with a 4-0 loss to Western Sydney Wanderers, but Melbourne City are going to finish the campaign on a 3-game winning streak. And yet Charalambous may yet score late. Yes! It's a first W League goal for Patricia Charalambous. And Perth Glory will not leave empty-handed.
Yeah, Marianne Tabani getting herself out of trouble there. A cheeky little chip ball. A very favourable bounce there for Charalambous. And just a great finish into that bottom left corner.
Alyssa Barbieri got a decent chunk of it, but too much power in the shot from Charalambous. And after 24 appearances over a number of seasons, a fringe player at times in the W League, she finally breaks through for her first goal. New South Wales initially, moving west. But it is too little too late for the Glory, and Melbourne City end their campaign on a winning note. It may not have been the title defence that they wanted, but they have farewelled Riley Dobson into retirement in style, and Riley scored for her trouble. Alex Chidiac ends up with the match-winning goal due to that late consolation from Charalambous. And so it means into a crucial off-season for Melbourne City. Will they rebuild another championship contender? We'll have to wait and see to find out. For now, their season ends. Full-time, Melbourne City 2, Perth Glory 1. And let's go to Archie Thompson with a very special guest.
Thanks, Teo. Riley, you got on the score sheet tonight. It's obviously been an emotional couple of weeks for you, especially even tonight, knowing it's your last game. What sort of emotions are you feeling right now?
I actually thought I was going to be a train wreck. But I'm actually just all smiles. We've finished the season on a high. It was a great team performance. My family, my partner, he's down. So for me, it's a nice way to finish my season, and what better, club to finish with than Melbourne City.
And I guess too, from the support of the players around you, how important has that been for you, especially in this sort of phase of your next part of your life?
They've been phenomenal. The team only found out yesterday. I kept things pretty quiet because I wanted them to stay focused on making sure we had a strong finish to the end of the season. As we know, it's been very up and down. They knew, obviously, Matt had surgery and everything, so they've been amazing in terms of messaging us both and just making sure that they know that they're here for us, essentially. So they've been, perfect.
Yeah, I guess, when you look back on your career, what are some of the fond moments you've had in the W League, and especially with Melbourne City and even Newcastle Jets? Look,
for Newcastle, I was there for 9 years, and I honestly thought I was going to be a one-woman club. And then that's just not the way of the world most of the time. And Melbourne City reached out a hand, and for me, that was huge. We won the three-peat. I've been part of winning, scoring and setting up winners in derbies, which we know, as you would know, is really, really a highlight. So now I've won, 2 championships, a minor championship as well with Melbourne City. We've broken multiple records. I've made my Matildas debut, played with many, many famous Australian Matildas. So for me, I've had a really, I suppose, colourful career in everything that I've done. And, while this is earlier retirement than what I foresaw, it's a bigger picture, really. Yeah.
Well, I don't want to obviously keep you because I know I'm starting to get emotional. I guess what's the message you want to leave the women's players and the W players and the W League? What's the last sort of message you want to leave?
I think for me, every player, when you're coming into this league, put all your heart and soul into it and leave the game in a better stead than when you came in. Leave your mark, whether it's you being an individual, whether it's, you being well known. Like for me, it's the ribbon in my hair. And yes, I wear makeup looking like I haven't even played it.
And the shorts hiked up.
And the shorts hiked up. Blame my dad. That's from wearing footy shorts when I was little. But for me, leave the game in a better way than what you entered it, because that's the only way we're going to get this game to progress.
Okay, Riley, from everyone in the football community, we wish you and your partner all the very best in what's going to be hopefully not a difficult journey, and much love.
Thanks, Archie. Really appreciate it.
So, Riley Dobson and Archie Thompson there sharing an embrace at the end of that interview. Just absolutely charming and wholesome stuff, Angie. Just fantastic to hear, wasn't it?
Just such a charismatic girl and a great player. And even, I think we were tearing up here just listening to that